when a group of indigenous people in North America made claims that challenged the scientific consensus. They initially faced skepticism from researchers. These First Nation people, known as the Hiki people, asserted a historical connection to Tricket Island in the Great Bear Rainforest of British Columbia, spanning nearly 5,000 years. Archaeologists had countered their claims, pointing to the presence of a continental glacier during the last ice age, which in theory would have made the island uninhabitable. However, a determined group of researchers was undeterred by this skepticism and set out on an extensive excavation of the remote island. Their primary objective was to uncover evidence of an ancient civilization, and their findings would send shockwaves throughout the archaeological community, fundamentally reshaping historical understanding. Beneath several layers of soil, these intrepid archaeologists unearthed the remnants of an ancient wood-burning hearth. This discovery proved to be both intriguing and perplexing, shedding new light on the island's history. The excavation brought to light a series of discoveries that challenged the established understanding. According to the prevailing knowledge, it seemed improbable for humans to have accessed the soil beneath the glacier. As the excavation continued, more artifacts surfaced, including tools and weapons that diverged from the traditional implements used by the Hiki people. While the Hiki people primarily relied on small, precise tools for fishing and salmon smoking, the newly discovered tools were notably larger, suggesting their use in hunting large sea mammals such as seals, sea lions, and walrus. Additionally, the archaeologists uncovered fragments of obsidian, a glass-like rock typically associated with regions marked by significant volcanic activity. This finding posed a puzzling question since there were no known volcanoes in close proximity to that part of British Columbia. Historians and researchers reached a striking conclusion. These artifacts must have been left behind by people who traversed the land bridge connecting Siberia and Alaska during prehistoric times. To provide concrete evidence, the researchers scrutinized ancient charcoal remains found in the hearth. Carbon dating revealed that this charcoal dated back a staggering 14,000 years, making it the oldest carbon remains ever discovered in North America. This revelation shook the foundations of established historical narratives. The Hiki people have passed down their history through oral tradition for nearly 14,000 years. Despite this rich heritage, the legitimacy of their historical claims remains a point of contention. The media's primary focus has often leaned towards the scientific implications of the discovery, somewhat overshadowing the profound history of the Hiki people, a perspective deemed by many as disrespectful. Alicia, a student at the University of Victoria who was present during the excavation, has taken it upon herself to redirect the discourse towards recognizing the Hiki people's deep historical connection to Tricket Island. Their claim to the island represents one of the world's oldest land ownership assertions, and the unfolding future will decide how this dispute evolves within the broader tapestry of Canadian land disputes, marking a unique and significant chapter in the nation's history. Tricket Island, with its magnetic allure for migratory birds like the and Arctic terns, serves as a vital resting spot, creating a sanctuary for enthusiastic bird watchers. The inception of Barr's sailing expedition during that particular summer marked the start of a series of similar journeys spanning over 6 decades. With each voyage, his attachment to the area deepened as he regularly guided groups of visitors and locals on tours and picnics to the island. Yet, Barrett is not the sole interested party in Machia Seal Island. Both the United States and Canada have staked their claims to the island, resulting in a complex situation. In its efforts to bolster its claim, Canada even erected a lighthouse on the island, while the United States can point to historical evidence dating back to the 1700s in support of its ownership claim. This island dispute remains a sensitive subject between these two allied nations. The long-standing dispute over the ownership of Machia Seal Island, situated between Canada and the United States, finds its origins in historical treaties and claims. The Treaty of Paris in 1783 granted the United States ownership of islands located within 20 leagues of the U.S. coast, with specific exceptions for those claimed by Nova Scotia. However, Canada's land grant from 1621 asserts ownership of islands within 6 leagues of the Nova Scotia coast, which includes Machia Seal Island, positioned just 3 leagues away from the Grand Manan coast. Despite several rounds of talks held in 1817, 1832, and 1944, the two nations have been unable to resolve the issue, with each country unwavering in its claim. Canada has fortified its ownership with the presence of a lighthouse and the establishment of a bird sanctuary on the island. The narrative takes an intriguing twist with the claim made by Barra, who asserts ownership of Machias Seal Island based on family history. Holly Davis, the partner of John Norton Barra's son and the mother of Barra's only grandchild, passionately shares this history. Tall Barney, an ancestor of Barra, was renowned in the area for his lobster fishing skills. Barney's decision to abstain from participating in the Civil War, grounded in his Quaker beliefs, led him to evade military service by hiding at sea. His determination to protect the island further deepens the historical layers of this complex ownership dispute became evident when he physically Barra's commitment to Machias Seal Island's ownership was underscored by his significant proclamation after repelling Canadian intruders during an invasion. In this declaration, he established that the first male heir born into their family would possess legitimate land rights to Machias Seal Island. Born in 1915, Barra fulfilled this distinctive ownership claim and further substantiated its validity by contacting the U.S. government, which in turn confirmed that the island was indeed part of the United States. This allowed him to disregard any Canadian regulations in this matter. Despite enduring continued conflicts with the Canadian government and a noteworthy incident involving a Canadian helicopter landing on the island during one of Barra's tours, he persisted in upholding his claim until his passing. Following Barra's death, his son Jane took charge of the island tours, a role he continued until his own passing. Holly Davis then assumed responsibility, albeit having to eventually halt the tours. Nevertheless, her dedication to Machias Seal Island remains steadfast. Barra's unrelenting pursuit of ownership is commemorated on his pink granite gravestone, which proudly proclaims, "Barra, defender of Machias Seal Island, USA." While the island's status remains a contentious issue, the endeavors of Barra and his family have effectively drawn attention to this unique location. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like, comment, and share the video. Remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell for regular updates.